Ask yourself this: am I a people pleaser? On today's episode, we're going to dive deeper into what does it mean to be a people pleaser, and will all the people pleasers just please stand up? So these episodes are going to be a little bit longer versions of what you might hear me talk about on TikTok and Instagram. On those platforms, I'll just ask a question and give a little bit of insight and hope that it encourages you. But here on YouTube, I want to go a little bit deeper and talk a little bit more about a subject. And one subject that I'm really passionate talking about. And I know women love to say that. I'm just so passionate to talk about this. But I'm passionate to talk about people pleasing, because I feel like we live in a society where so many people care so much about what other people think that they don't do the things that they're supposed to be doing, and you're being held back. So full confession, I am an ex-people pleaser. I did not realize that I was a people pleaser until a few years ago. And when I realized that I was a people pleaser, I realized how much I held back doing, saying, acting, thinking, feeling different ways because I was afraid what other people were going to think about me. Now, I craved the approval of people. Now, I think back to my childhood, and I think back to situations in my childhood where some of this started, where there were people in my life who were never going to approve of the things that I did. And it wasn't like I was out doing bad, awful things. It was just things in my life that did not fit the mold that these certain people felt should fit the mold of someone, of a young woman. And so I think I got to the point where I was scared to take risks. I was scared to try things because I heard these voices in my head, right? People will say stuff to you. Let's say you do step out and you do something that's a little unconventional or not traditional, and someone might say something to you, and what that one negative comment does to you is it stops you from continuing on to try, because you think, if they think it, what do other people think? People pleasing comes in lots of forms. So I think there's three main ways that I saw people pleasing play itself out in my life. First is trying to please people who never were going to actually approve of the things that I do. There's people in my life who they simply will never be my people, and that's okay. So I've had to learn to let go of any expectations of those people becoming my people. The second thing is that oftentimes we feel that how someone is responding to us is a reflection of us, and it's simply not the case. Everyone who responds to us they're just a reflection of themselves. They're not a reflection of you. So I think that this one is one that's a hurdle to get over, is because if someone responds to us a certain way, we tend to take that very personal, and we think, well, it must be something I'm doing to make them respond to me that way. But remember, it's up to them, and it's their responsibility for how they respond. You are not responsible for how anyone responds to you. And the third way is my identity was wrapped up in what these people thought about me or what I perceived them to think about me, versus my identity is wrapped up in my faith, which is in Christ. All of us have a sense of identity. So your identity is going to come from somewhere. So either you can have your identity come from what you think people are thinking about you versus what you know your reality of who you are and what your identity is in. And so these were three main ways that I saw people pleasing play itself out. It affected lots of aspects of my life. It affected my marriage. It affected my family. And when I was able to break free of people pleasing, it truly gave me freedom to be myself, freedom to explore my gifts, my talents, my passions, and freedom to find the path that God had for me. So if you're struggling with people pleasing, know that I'm here. I understand. There is a way out. And as we go through this channel here at Ask Yourself This, we're going to be uncovering emotional issues, talking about deep topics, hopefully offering some solutions so that you can start taking steps towards emotional wholeness, emotional health, and more importantly, to be who you were created to be. So thanks for joining me on this journey, and I will see you at Instagram, or I'll see you on TikTok, or right here with our longer episodes of Ask Yourself This.